No, he wants it to be part of the podcast, bro. The feel.
Nah, yeah,
Just
we're
vibing on the water bottle.
we're live. We got two special guests. We got Gabe to my right, and we got the man Andrew to the left. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people so people who don't know who you are can get a feel?
I'm Andrew Geisler. I'm a amateur MMA fighter from Poughkeepsie, New York.
That's what's up, bro. So let's I honestly don't really know you, bro. You could agree. We've never really spoke before. So like, let's just fill the people in on like who you are and what you do.
So I started MMA like with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so it's kind of like the grappling aspect, you know, like so it's kind of like what wrestling is in high school, but you can do like submissions, things like that. So I started that when I was like 12 years old. My dad got me into it, and I've been doing that since. And then like 2 years ago, I was like, I've been training striking for a while now. I was like, I want to take an MMA fight. So took my first fight, and then I won, and I knew like right away after I won that fight, like that's what I wanted to do.
Is that the one where you knocked the dude out?
No, so my first fight I won by submission. It was like real quick, first round. I didn't take any damage and get hit. So it was like, it was like a really good feeling like that. It's like the like craziest adrenaline rush you could ever have being in there. I remember like I never got nervous for anything. Like everyone thought like it was the weirdest thing that I never got like emotions for any like tournaments and stuff. I
hear that, and the commentators are always saying that like you always keep your cool like throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, my first fight like I had a good poker face, but I was in the back room like hyperventilating. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like trying to get my breath. My coach was like, dude, listen to me, close your eyes, like you gotta take a few deep breaths, like relax, because like, this is what you train for. You want to do this forever. But dude, I just like couldn't breathe, and I went out there. As soon as they closed the cage, it's like it's a whole different feeling. It all just goes away, But like the worst part for the fight is like leading right up to it, just waiting in that back room. You just want to do it or don't do it, And like, I don't want to sit back here anymore. Yeah,
that's crazy.
You just get out and get down. Did you compete in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that before? Or?
Yeah, so I actually just got like my brown belt in jiu-jitsu, which is like one before black. So it takes like 10 years to get your black belt.
Really?
Yeah, like that's the thing about like karate. Like I'm sure it has its place at school and everything. Like there are a few guys that get away with like Wonder Boy Thompson, like all those high level guys do karate, but like it takes like 2 years to get your black belt in karate.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have like an 8-year-old girl who's the same rank as the coach. It's like how do I know who's credible? You know what I mean? But if you learn from like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that person's a legitimate source. Definitely. So I've been competing since I was like 12 in Jiu-Jitsu. I've probably done like 100 tournaments. Competed last weekend, but I don't like make a big deal out of them. I just do them for experience. Like in my eyes, everything I do, like whether it's a boxing match, kickboxing match, jiu-jitsu, it's all funneled as like experience for my MMA fight.
Did you feel a different feeling like going into a jiu-jitsu match and then going into the cage?
Yeah, so like I used to get nervous like when I was younger, like for like jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more you do something, the more comfortable you get.
Yeah.
So like it stopped being like anything crazy. But if I did like a high level grappling tournament, I would still get like a little bit nervous. And then I did the MMA fight and I had like that crazy like nerves before that fight.
Yeah.
And then like once you step away from that, it makes everything else feel like nothing. So after I started doing MMA, I go to these jiu-jitsu tournaments. It's like nothing. I feel zero after like because like you realize like, all right, worst case scenario, this guy's a savage like. he destroys me. I tap out. You know what I mean? But then you go into the fight and you're in the back room. You're like, okay, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, I get flatlined. I'm sleeping on the canvas. Everyone's watching me.
Worst case scenario, you lose
way
that
worse.
5-0.
Yeah, like it's such a like the risk is so much higher for MMA. Like getting knocked out is so much worse than being like, oh, he beat me. I tapped out. So
because I know when I used to compete in judo a few times, like right before I used to go in, like that was so nervous. I used to peek at the crowd like, damn, there's a lot of people out there.
You can't help it.
I used to always have to take a shit
right
before.
No, that's normal. It's your nerves, like it's flushing your body out.
Every time I was like,
it's so funny in the locker rooms. They separate obviously like red corner and blue corner, not your opponents, and it's just like but they can't. Once you have your hands wrapped up, you can't leave the sight of the officials because they don't want you stuffing stuff in your gloves. So it's like every 2 seconds, like, yo, bathroom run. Everyone's like shitting themselves, like waiting to go out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back into like earlier childhood days and like leading up until when you figured out this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like let's like learn more about Andrew.
So, I wish honestly like the biggest regret I have from when I was younger was 2 things. One, I didn't wrestle in high school, which I think was a huge mistake.
I definitely feel that way.
Yeah, I look at all these top level guys; they're all wrestlers. And 2, I was really into soccer. So like there was a gap for a while where like I stopped going to jiu-jitsu. So I started when I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and then I was there for like 3 years, and I stopped from like 16 to like 18 or 19 because I thought for sure I was gonna play like college soccer,
Right.
you know. And then I ended up not doing that. I didn't even go into college, so I went back to MMA. That's when I started really getting more into like the striking aspect and stuff, and realizing I liked doing everything, not just jiu-jitsu. So I was like, that's when I realized I wanted to fight. But like growing up, I was like super into soccer. I thought that was gonna be like the career path for me, but you know, obviously things change.
How did you talk your parents into accepting the fact that you wanted to take a career in punching people and taking punches?
Honestly, I got super lucky. Like my parents are like, I hit like the lotto with parents. My dad's the one that got me into it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like he's the one that like convinced me to do this. So most people are like, it's the opposite. Yeah. So I just had my 5th fight, 5-0, and my mom just went to the first one, like last one. Yeah. Like
the best one.
Yeah. You know, but like the thing is like, for her, it's like so hard to watch. You know, she works for like a plastic surgeon. I've had to go in there and get like my nose fixed and stuff. Like, so it's hard for her to watch. You know, I remember like I had like a boxing match like when I first started striking, just to like try and work on my hands. I had to do like a boxing match, and I was winning the fight. It was after the first round, like I completely dominated. And I look over, my mom's just like sobbing. I was like, I'm winning. I didn't take any damage, you know. But it's like it's hard for her. But my dad loves it. He comes to everything. He works my corner sometimes. So I got lucky with that. But what's harder is like the amateur MMA fighter salary, like which doesn't exist. You're not allowed to get paid.
Yeah.
It's like a college athlete. Like
right.
It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter. Like they're not allowed to pay you. You know. So like people have such a misconception of that. Like sometimes I work at like my buddy's pizzeria over here, like Giacomo's, and I'll like deliver a pizza to someone's house, and they like open the door and they're like, "What's he doing here?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, I still gotta work, I still need money. You know what I mean?
Like,
my
pizza box real quick.
Yeah. So like they're just like they don't get it. So like there's so many levels to MMA too. So like there's like two opposite sides always. So like I have people that are like, you know, are like, "Yo, how's the UFC?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. You gotta ask Dana White. I'm not in the UFC. You know, I wish that's my goal, obviously, eventually." Yeah. But and then there's people who are like, you know, like how's karate, and like that's even worse. Like, they have no idea I do them. I always like it's good, you know.
You know what always gets me? The judo kicks.
Yeah.
I hate when people say,
"Yeah,
I'm gonna judo kick you."
Yeah. They mix two things like it doesn't exist. Yeah,
it doesn't fucking exist. A judo kick.
Yeah. I definitely thought that existed. Yeah. But we're gonna bypass that.
It does not exist.
Yeah, there's people like that. You know, they think they're like full of knowledge and they know absolutely nothing. I deal with it a lot. People come into like the gym I train at and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm a black belt in like Tang Sudo. Does my belt convert to jiu-jitsu?" I'm like, absolutely not. No, what you did was all striking. And this is all grappling.
Does your math degree fit into social studies?
Yeah, exactly. No, it doesn't mean anything.
But yeah, I think people think fighters, like especially MMA, they're used to boxers getting paid big money.
Yeah.
And MMA hasn't reached that level.
Not even close.
Because even like people like Stipe's still a firefighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, his career is now taking off, but like.
You know, it's so true. Like people are like, "Oh, Conor makes this crazy money." In the eyes of like a pro boxer, he makes like chump change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like he's like changing the game of MMA as far as like money. So people have no idea. It's just because the sport's so much, you know, more developed. Like boxing's been around for so long.
Yeah.
So there's so much money behind it. But I mean, hopefully MMA fighters get there one day. But like, you look at like, it's even for boxing though. Like the lower levels don't make much. Like people don't realize like that's like the top level boxers. Like Canelo is obviously making crazy money, you know. But like, even like UFC, when you get to the UFC, they don't start you at like $100,000 a fight. You're getting started like 10-10. You know, 10 to show up, 10 to win. So you're making $20,000 if you win the fight.
Yeah, then you get the bonuses.
Yeah. So then so you got to rely on having like the night of your life. The other guy surviving it, because if you just knock him out in 2 seconds, everyone's like, "Oh, that was nice," but you need like a war. You know what I mean? Where people are like, "Oh, that's performance of the night." So you're relying on both people. You know, you're relying on you get the win, and that even then you're only bringing home $70K. You know what I mean? That's like best case scenario, like unlikely that you're getting that performance award. You know, $70K, and then you fight 2-3 times a year. I mean, that's still obviously a good living, but compared to like what the top guys make, they make that in more than one fight.
Back to your normal life right after that.
Yeah. So, like my normal life now, or
no, that wasn't a question. Well, we can get into a little story. So I like to always, when I have a guest on here, I like to bring up my first encounter with them. So I got one for you. I doubt you even remember. So I got you right. So it's 7th grade. It's like the first or second week, right? And I remember we were just shopping, like maybe a week before. I got these fire kicks, right? These red Nikes. I forgot what they were called. High top.
I'm like, yo, mom, I'm gonna be the freshest dude in school. No one's gonna have these, right? All right, so boom, I'm at the water fountain, getting my little slurp on, right? Someone comes and taps me. He's like, yo, nice shoes, bro. I look down. I'm like, word, thanks. As he's walking away, I look down. He's got the same fucking shoes on, bro.
They were Nike Dunks. I remember.
Bro, I'm like...
Bro, I was a huge sneaker. I'm like, I have like 60 pairs of shoes.
Yo, listen. So I'm like, yo, this dude got the same kicks on. Next day, he got a different color. Next day, different color.
Yeah.
Bro, he had like every color of them shits, bro. I'm like, yo, this man. I'm like, yo.
I told you I hit the lotto at the parents department.
Fucked up. I'm like, yo.
I love going back to school. I knew that meant like my mom and dad were gonna buy me like 3 or 4 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
And I was like the guy who had like the exact same shoe in every color. Like I always did that. I was like, oh, I like these Dunks. I like these Air Force Ones. Like, let me just get them in 9 colors, so I have to match any outfit. That's how it was.
Bro, it was tight as fuck.
That's so funny.
So tight, bro. I bet you don't remember that.
No, I really don't, but I know the shoes you're talking about.
See, bro.
So I remember all the shoes I'd buy every year for junior high. I got the red. They were red high top Nike Dunks.
Right.
That's crazy.
It said Nike right across the back. I was like, yo, these are fresh, bro.
Dude, that's so funny. I know the exact pair of shoes you're talking about.
Yeah, bro. See, happy I had you on, bro. Get to share that experience. So now we're talking about school. Like, how was like your middle school and high school years?
Honestly, like, I thought I was nervous when you started bringing up 7th and 8th grade because I was such a pussy. I was. You know what got me, like, really into it? I had, like, this friend. Do you guys know Joey Flanagan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to high school. That's, like, he was, like, now he's he actually is pretty big now. He blew up out of nowhere. But when we were kids, he was, like, super short. He was, like, the smallest kid in our group. And I used to hang out with him all the time. He'd be like, yo, you want to wrestle? I was like, yeah, let's wrestle. He's like, all right, you can start in a headlock. I would start with him in a headlock, and within like a minute, I'd be like pancaked on the ground. Like, it made me so angry. I was like the biggest pussy out of all of my friends. So I was like, all right, I want to do like go back to jiu-jitsu. I started getting really into it, and I started getting like, higher level. And I felt like I had like real potential, and I started like growing fast. So, but like when I was a kid, like I was always like the weakest kid in the group. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
But like by the time I hit high school, I went into high school at 130 pounds, and I graduated at like 200. I got like really into lifting and stuff. So I started to get like a lot stronger. That's when I started to go back to MMA near the end of that. Obviously, I've thinned out since then. I was at like 200 pounds, all muscle. Like I was super into lifting, and I went back to my MMA gym, and there was like 140-pound dudes just beating the shit out of me. You know what I mean? But they were so good. I was like, you realize like it's not functional strength. You know what I mean? Like these guys in the UFC. There's such few exceptions of guys that are super built like that. Like there's obviously like Tyron Woodley and guys like Yoel Romero, but they're like the freaks. You know, most of these guys are get as lean and skinny as possible. That's the objective. So like for me, I'm pretty big 145er, especially for amateurs. I'm probably average size 145er for pros, but for amateurs, I'm pretty big.
Yeah. And how tall are you?
I'm like 5'9". 5'10".
So what division do you fight in?
145. So that's a featherweight. This next one I'm doing is at 155 because I'm challenging the 155 kid for his belt. So I'll have both, and then I'll probably go pro from there. So I'm only gonna take one more amateur. But
that's good, bro.
Yeah. So weight cutting is the hardest part of fighting, like without a doubt.
Yeah, and then getting back to normal after that, right?
Yeah. So it's like the way it works. Like right now I'm like 173. That's like my walk around weight, like just under 175. And then I fight 145, so that's 30 pounds. It's a big drop off. So like, what I do is I diet for like 6 weeks. You lose like 2 or 3 pounds a week. You get all the way down to like 57, 58. So you're within like 12 pounds, right? And then the rest is just dehydration. Yeah. So what I do is like, we do something called hyperhydrating. So you drink like 2 gallons of water a day for 2 days, and then 1 gallon, then half a gallon, then quarter. So you're like tapering the water away.
So other than that, what are you eating other than?
No, you can't have any carbs. So that last week, it's just grilled chicken, avocado, unsalted nuts. Like it's like there's like 5 ingredients you can have. Eggs. There's no sodium and no carbs, so your body can't hold water. So you're just flushing. You're putting like crazy amounts of water in. So you overhydrate your body. You start peeing like crazy, and then you start taking the water away. And your body thinks you're gonna keep putting that crazy amount of water in. So flush out. You literally piss out like 10 pounds out of your body. You're like a zombie. You ever like stand up too fast? You get like lightheaded. Yeah. You feel like that for like 3 days straight. Like everywhere you go, you're like putting your hand out. Like you feel like death.
So after doing all that for like weeks, then you go into your fight. How do you feel the day of?
So after I weigh in, I get 24 hours to like recoup. So I'll weigh in at 46 on the dot, and then the next day when I get into the cage, I'm like 66. So I put on like 20 pounds overnight. People are like, that's impossible. How do you do that? I'm like, you don't realize it's not. I didn't go eat like 15 burritos from Chipotle. It's not possible to stack on weight through food. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm so dehydrated. The first gallon of water I drink, like I don't even pee. Like your body just sucks up like a dry sponge. You know. So like people don't realize a gallon of water is 8 pounds. You know what I mean? So if I drink 2 gallons of water right there, that's 16 pounds.
Right.
You know. So like I put on like 20 pounds just overnight. You obviously start carbing up, eating sodium, things like that, so you retain the water again, because you stripped all that stuff out of your body. But like in reality, you don't feel 100% when you get back in there. Like you still feel like you went. It almost feels like you were really sick, and then like you started to get better. You know what I mean? Like those first couple of days when you come back from like a sickness, you know, like you could go to the gym, but you kind of feel like shitty. Like that's how you feel in there. Like, you feel like 80% of like what you normally feel like when you're in gym, but it's still better than going. People are like, why don't you just go up a weight class? Like, yeah, because that guy at 80% is still stronger than me at 100. You know what I mean? So he goes up. Like those guys walk around. Like look at Khabib. You know Khabib? He's like the best grappler. He walks around like 195, 200 pounds. Fights at 155. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting in the cage or something like that. Getting murdered. That's why I don't go up. You know?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, that's why it's the best to fight at like
the lowest possible weight. Yeah. I mean, there are a point of like diminishing returns. Like I could probably make 35 if I had like a good nutritionist and stuff, but like I would probably be so weak the next day I'd be better off at 45. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you should just shoot up to any weight class you want. Like look at Ben Askren comes over here, doesn't want to cut any weight, fights at 170. He's getting his ass beat by everyone in the UFC now. He's getting destroyed. You know, that one fight against Robbie Lawler was like, I guess you could kind of call it a fluke. We don't really know what happened, and the other two guys ass beat. So it's hard, you know. You have to cut weight, but you don't want to cut too much weight. But you have to be careful how you do it. That's the hardest part. It's like finding someone knowledgeable that can help you. Because if you just try and wing it, some people get like kidney stones and end up in the hospital. You know what I mean? So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you could almost see it in your guys' faces at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, I look sick when I go to my weigh-ins. Like people are like, "Oh, you look horrible." I'm like, "Yeah, well, thanks."
That's the thing about fighters. People don't ever look at it as like, now that I got a broad look on it, it's like you guys are borderline nutritionists, bro.
Yeah, you have to be. But like, this is the problem. Like a lot of people will hit me up and be like, "Oh man, you lost like 20 pounds. Like help me out." And I'm like, "Dude, what I do? Like you can't maintain it. I have like." My friend's mom's asking me like, "Oh, what do I do?" I'm like, "I can, if you want, I can make it so you're walking around like a zombie, dehydrated." But I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm not smart enough to say like I know enough about nutrition for your overall health. I could, if you wanted to go to the beach next week and be down 15 pounds and you don't care how you feel out there, I got you. You know what I mean? But like I can't
can do that for you.
You know, I don't know the proper way. You might need certain things, and I'm stripping from your diet that I don't know, but. You do have to learn like about nutrition as you go. Like I pick up tricks each time. It gets a little bit easier the weight cut. You know what I mean? Because I learn little things that help me.
Well, because I think like people get confused between body fat weight loss and just water weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what comes first is your water weight.
Yep.
You lose a lot of water weight, and people automatically think like, all right, he lost all this fat.
Exactly.
But it's not fat.
It's not. Yeah. I'm literally just stripping my body of like one of the main things it needs to survive. So we literally walk around. We get to the weigh-ins. Everyone's dead. That's like the worst. You get to weigh-ins. And everyone's like fighting tomorrow. You're seeing your opponent, so everyone's trying to like mean mug and look cool, but you all feel like absolute dog shit. Yeah, everyone just is like feeling like dog shit, about to pass out, but you're like looking at the guy like you're both looking at each other like two homeless crackheads. Like,
for the cameras,
horrible. Bro. Yeah,
we're trying to look tough.
Yeah, I feel like everyone in amateur MMA is like such a douchebag. Like. I try so hard to like break that stereotype. I'm always like cool to my opponents. Like I'm always like, "Oh, what's up, man? Like, good luck tomorrow. Thanks for showing up on weight." You know. But you get all these guys like trying to be like Conor McGregor in the amateurs. I'm like, dude, we're not even gonna get paid. What are you so worried about? You know what I mean? Like, we don't get any pay-per-view stock. You know what I mean? Like, no one gives a shit if you don't like me or if we're perfectly cool or if
no
there's
one
someone
cares
in
about
between.
the politics about
this.
Yeah,
I get it in pro. You have to do that. You have to brand yourself. You have to build your name up. But in like amateurs, like don't be a douchebag. Like you just look stupid. Especially you look like an asshole to me. Like you start talking other shit and I go out there and I knock you out now. Well, you just look like twice as much of an asshole. We're just cool. Just be cool. It happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes no sense to me in amateurs.
I feel like the commentators on your fights are definitely tuned in because like every time I'm watching and I listen to all that shit and they're like so homed in on you. Like everything you're doing, they're focused on every single time.
Yeah, they're honestly like I feel like they're not that knowledgeable, which is like a little bit of a problem. Like sometimes they say things, I'm like, well, that's not what just happened. You know, be like,
yeah.
Like I was watching the fight. The kid that I'm fighting next, I was watching film on him, and he fought for the same organization as me, and they were like, he had this kid in like the tightest anaconda choke, like it was locked in super deep. And the commentator's like, he's fine here, like, you know, nothing's gonna happen. The guy taps, he's like, oh, I guess he's not. I'm like, yeah, dude, because that was the like, if you knew anything about jiu-jitsu, you would know that was over. You know what I mean? Like it was super tight. But what they do is like, I feel like I've noticed that like if they like you, they just hype you up. You know what I mean? So my first fight, like I'll never forget. So they can try and talk nice to me all they want now. My first fight, I was like trying to grow my hair out. I was in the process, so I had like the top cornrowed, but the sides wasn't long enough yet. So it looked funky. You know what I mean? And the guy came out, and I was fighting this kid named Caleb Seabass, and he was like, oh, Seabass, I like his last name. I'm rooting for him. The other guy's hair's kind of weird. I'm like, all right, fuck you, dude. I'm here to fight. It's not a modeling competition. You know what I mean? So like, so I go out there and I end up knocking the kid out. And the next time I come out, he's like, this kid's super talented, like hyping me up. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I remember. I could hear you. I'm in the cage. You're commentating like 4 feet from me. I hear you talking shit about my hair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Do you ever talk to them after the fight or not?
No, I'm not really. I know, like, even like I said, I'm not really like a shit talker on talking thing, but I do talk to people like in the cage. But that's more of like, it's not me being a dick because it's not for anyone else. It's just me and him that hear it. You know what I mean? So like if someone's in the cage, especially like I had this one kid that was talking shit to me before the fight. So I remember like I had him pinned down. I was on his back and I was like, you know, like ground and pounding him from behind. And I was just like, well, you got anything to say now? You know what I mean? Because it mentally breaks them down. That's the reason I do it. Not because I actually care about talking shit or getting back at them. But when someone's on top of you and you're trying to think of an escape plan and then they're just talking shit, it really just breaks you down like mentally. I've had people do it to me, like especially in practice. I have guys that are like laughing or joking when they got on top, like, come on, go get out of this. I'm like, oh, dude, he's not even trying. You know what I mean? I'm getting mauled right now. So like it does wear on you. But
so yeah, let's take another step back from the MMA talk and get back into your school days. So I'm not sure. I just thought of this. I'm not sure if this was you. But did you get in trouble for making fake parking passes, bro?
Yeah.
That was you, right?
That was in Ketchum, yeah. So what happened was...
Yeah, let's talk about
what
that.
What had happened was all right, so I wanted to park as a junior because I had a job. Right? They wouldn't let me park. And I was like, well, dude, like I have to go to work from school. I don't know what to tell you. Like, so I started just coming in. And then they started like calling me down like, oh, we're going to tow your car. And I was like... That's bullshit. Like, don't tow my car. I'm gonna freak out. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go to work. I'm not just like being an asshole. So I was like, I got an idea. I went out to some random car and I just took a picture of their sticker. I was like, I'll just replicate it. You know what I mean? So this poor girl, I forget her name, Melissa Kaufman, I think her name was. You know her? She was like such a goody good in high school. Like, she's never got in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, she's always good, but. I took a picture of her thing. It was a random car. I went home. My buddy worked at Staples, and they were clear. They were stickers. Yeah. So he printed out. You know, like teachers used to use like overhead projector paper. Right. They would like line them up and like put them on the board. So he printed it on that, so it came out clear. And then I would just use a marker to fill in the colors that needed it. But when it was done, it looked like identical. You know what I mean? Like, so I was getting in, and everyone's like, "Yo, how are you doing that?" And so I told a couple of close friends, and they were like, "Yo, can you make me one?" And I was like, I don't want to risk it. And like, we'll give you $50. And I was like, wait a minute, like I can make some serious money on this. So I ended up selling like 50 of them. I made like $2,500. Got a brand new SI at the time. Oh my God. Yeah, so I was like rolling into school.
Yo, I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah,
bro.
Dude. So one day, a junior hits a senior's car.
Oh my God.
And then they're like, "How do you even park in here?" And they look at the plastic, like, "Oh, this is fake." And they start looking around. They're like, "Oh, there's like 30 fakes in this parking lot right now, and they all have the same number." They're like, "What's going on?" So I don't know who it is. Obviously, someone eventually snitched me out. Right. You know what I mean? So I get called down, and Mr. Sipes like, "What is this?" And I was like, "That's a parking pass." Like trying to be all like witty, like maybe I'm not in trouble. He's trying to figure out who it is. Yeah. He knew right away. He's like, "It's a fake parking pass that you made 50 of." He's like, "Because we caught all the people, and multiple people have told me it was you." And I was like, "Fuck, dude!" Like I knew right away I was screwed. But he was like, first course of action, like you have to give everyone back their money." And I was like, "Yeah, you see that SI out there?" I was like, "It's not happening. I already used it all, every cent and more." So he was like, so he's like, "We're starting with a 5-day home suspension." And I was like, "All right, whatever. I don't care. Like, go home for 5 days." So at the end of the 5 days, they're like, "Yeah, we're calling you in for a superintendent meeting." I was like, "No way, they're gonna expel me for this." I've never gotten in trouble in high school or anything. Like I was in like AP classes. Like these guys are really gonna kick me out for this. So I get there and they're like, we're giving you a superintendent suspension, which is like a home suspension for the remainder of the year. It was like the 3rd month of school.
Holy shit.
I was like, no, you guys can't do that. I was like, can I go to a different school? They're like, yeah, you can go to John Jay, but you have to provide your own transportation there. And I was like, I thought like everyone was being cool at the meeting. Like they weren't being like so serious. You know what I mean? Like they're like, it's unfortunate. Like we know you're a good kid. Like, and I was like, oh, so like I thought I was throwing like a joke there, but they got super pissed. They were like, yeah, if you can provide your own transportation. I was like, all right, cool. Can I have a parking pass? And dude, they instantly all got so serious. Like they were pissed. I'm kidding. So I had to drive to Jay at 7:00 in the morning. It's 30 minutes from my house. I live like borderline Spack and Kill. Like I'm all the way over by the mall. So I had to drive like all the way to John Jay every day and park like half a mile down the street and walk.
Jesus Christ.
Miserable. I had to wake up an hour early for school every day.
I'm telling you right now, if that was me, I would have been expelled right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me. They would.
Yeah. You guys both had some trouble in high school.
Bro, that is funny. I'm glad I got you up here to talk about that. I never got the full backstory, bro.
I just want to know. I would pay $1,000 to know who snitched on me. I'm not gonna go fuck them up. I'm just curious.
Listen,
I'm just so curious.
When this airs, someone is gonna leave a comment. Andrew, I'm sorry, bro.
I'm your biggest fan now.
No, I'm just honestly curious. Like I don't gonna beef with them. Still don't care. And
there's probably a couple people, honestly.
Yeah,
like
and honestly, I had a good experience. I liked John Jay. It was cool. I got to meet a whole new group of like friends and go to like, you know what I mean, stuff.
Everything happens for a reason. Bro.
Yeah, and I ended up going back to catch on my senior year. So they gave me the option, like, which one do you want to go to? And I was like,
did they give you a parking pass?
Yeah, my senior year, I was shocked. I really thought they were going to be, like, continuous punishment by not giving me one.
You want a parking pass? Yeah. $50, bro. That would have been funny.
Imagine that. They charged me.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good. So, let's talk about one of your, like, craziest life experiences that, like, changed who you are.
Let's see. Honestly, I'd say, like, that first MMA fight probably is, like, the biggest change in my life. Like, when I went out for that first fight, like, I knew I wanted to do MMA, but everyone wants to do MMA. You know what I mean? Like, how many people you know that are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do MMA? You know what I mean? Like, everyone says they claimed to have some kind of training or something, but,
yeah,
like, I could have gone out there and got brutally knocked out, and maybe I would have been like, maybe I want to go back to school and do accounting. You know what I mean?
Maybe I want
like,
to play soccer.
You know, but, like, having that first win gave me the momentum. You know what I mean? Like, maybe my second fight that went really well for me wouldn't have gone as well for me if I didn't win that first fight. But I was coming off that, like, that high feeling, knowing what it was like to get your hand raised, like, such a good feeling. So, like, I think that whole first MMA fight, dealing with the nerves, you know, like, nobody wants to own up to it. Like, nobody wants to admit it. But, like, when you're in that back room, in your head, you're like, there's always a little bit of an excuse formulating. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I could just say, like, my stomach hurts bad. I can't go out there. Like nobody, everyone is, like, a little bit, like, as much as you want to go out there and prove everything you've been working on, part of you is like, I don't want to do this. You know, like, I just want this to be over. I want to go get Chipotle. I want to get a burger. I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to do this.
I wish I was still playing soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's always those thoughts in the back of your head, but, like, to, like, just get past it, push through, go out there, have, like, a good performance, not take any damage. It instantly after that fight, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, 100%. Like, no doubt in my mind. I started upping my training. I got, like, inspired to, like, go cross-train at places, work with high-level guys. Like, went out to, like, Thailand with, like, a group of guys from my gym.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So how was that?
That was honestly a good experience, too. Like, I went out there for, I think it was, like, 12 days. I just couldn't believe the way those people live. Like, dude, it was... like we were living like kings. And let me tell you, I do not have a king's budget. You know what I mean? Like, but, like, you go out there and, like,
you're American boy over there, fighter.
Yeah, dude, you know what's crazy? They're all covered in tattoos, but they're staring at me like I'm, like, they're like, oh, like, you're pointing. It's just because they don't normally see, like, foreigners, like a white dude come around just tatted up. So, like, they were, like, pointing at me. I'm like, you have them too. You know what I mean? What do you? Don't look at them like they're impossible to get.
Just asking you for autographs and shit.
Yeah, no, like, they just have no. It was, like, just so abnormal to them to see it. But when I went there, it was crazy. Like, we would eat, like, these huge meals, like chicken pad thai, a soda, like a side of rice, whatever you want, and it'd be like 70 cents. I'm like, are you kidding?
On the American dollar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we stayed in this 4-floor Airbnb. So, like, we all had our own floor, not just our own room.
Oh,
so,
that's crazy.
And it was, like, it was big. So, like, in my floor had my bedroom, and then you'd walk out into the patio, and there was a hot tub, a full, like, barbecue grill. Like every floor had something. Floor below me had like a pool table. Like it was ridiculous, and it was $47 a night split between 4 people. We were spending 11. Like you can't even get into a Motel 8, a rundown motel around here for that. Yeah. We were living like kings.
So pretty much the only thing you paid was the flight there. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because everything else is pennies.
Yeah, it was so cheap out there. The training was like crazy. They all have like the craziest work ethic. You know what I mean? Like you'd be done with the practice, and the coach just like be like, okay, like we're gonna do a cool down. Like so you're thinking like, oh, we're gonna do a cool down, like hit the bag for a minute. He's like 100 kicks left side, 100 kicks right side, 100 knees each side, 100 teeps each side, 100 elbows each side. I'm like, oh, so you're giving me another hour workout as my cool down? That's not a cool down. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother workout you just gave me.
Did you guys have to pay for the training out there too?
Yeah, but we did double sessions, so 2 2-hour sessions a day, and a free pad private in it. So like you get to work with the coach one-on-one on pads. And 2 sessions, and it was $100.
Oh wow!
For the whole time we were there, I was like, oh, what a joke!
What is that compared to training over here?
I mean, like any gym you go to, just for partake in regular classes, you're gonna pay $200+ for the month. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna that's
so you moving to Thailand or no?
Yeah, right. Like, but that's the one thing. Like I feel like after the trip, everyone was like, "Damn, like I love it out there. I love the way they live. Like I like this." I'm like. Really, I feel the complete opposite. What I got from the trip is like I'm grateful for what we have here.
Yeah.
I was walking down the street there, and I feel like this weird feeling. I look down, there's a fucking cockroach on my foot. So I freak out. Obviously, like I'm kicking it off, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude!" Like I hate bugs. I hate that. That's like my biggest fear. I don't like spiders, snakes.
Get him a bug.
Fuck that. So. It's like on my foot, and I freak out, and I look over, and like the Thai people are like pointing and laughing, like American, you know what I mean? And I want to be like, you laugh all you want, but where I'm from, the whole business is closed down if this is on. You know what I mean? Imagine being in McDonald's and a cockroach crawls across your foot. Guess what? They're going out. They're done. You know what I mean? Like, so you laugh all you want.
Yeah.
But this is so dirty in my country that and they're eating them. They there's like stands there of like cockroaches, or you can buy cockroaches. No. Dude,
we're not doing that.
Kidding me? It's disgusting. That's repulsive. So I'm like, part of me was like, I love the experience. Like the training was awesome, but I was like, this gives me such an appreciation for what we have. No, but they all my friends were like, dude, we gotta come back. Like, this is the place to be. I'm like, yeah, for like a week. I'm not coming. I'm not gonna come and live here. Ever, you know?
Maybe train here.
Yeah.
So you also got a tattoo out there, right?
Yeah, I got one of those like sakyan, like the bamboo style.
Right.
And I've never in my life experienced anything that painful. Like, dude, I'm covered in tats. I can clearly handle the pain, you know. But like, I sat down. I'm sitting like crisscross Indian style on like some floor in like a hut, and it's like it feels like a sauna in there because the whole country is a huge sauna.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's like 100 degrees. I'm dripping sweat. There's like a pool of sweat around me, and he's just like drilling into my neck, and it hits like that bone on my spine, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pass out.
And it's like totally inconsistent. Maybe he's tapping you very lightly 1 second, and now he's hammering.
Exactly. Like you'll get like 5 or 6 pokes, you feel nothing, and the next one you're like, oh, dude, like I feel like you just hit my nerve or something, and and like he's just sitting there. And he's like, every time I would like move at all, he'd go just like push my head back down. I'm like, all right, dude, I get it. You don't want me to move, but this is very fucking painful, you know?
That's funny.
He can't communicate. He doesn't speak any English. It was brutal.
So did you guys have like a what is that called, like an interpreter or something like that for you?
Yeah, we had someone come in. It was out of chance though. Like we got lucky. I guess he was talking to this girl, and she ended up stopping by and saying hi to him, and she spoke a little bit of English.
Oh, okay.
So she was like translating some of the things that he was saying. Like he kept pushing my head down. I thought he wanted me to just keep my head down, and he was trying to say like he wanted my hairline was getting in his way because my hair wasn't like shaved. Mm-hmm. Most like you get a tattoo around here, he just shaves it for you because just have a razor. You know what I mean? But he was trying to say like he needed the light for my hair, but that's like he couldn't translate anything. Even like us, like we would be like, oh, light, like you know what I mean? Like he didn't try to do any hand gestures or anything like that. He just kept pushing my head down. So I was like, oh, I guess he needs like my head towards the ground. I don't know. It was such a bad experience. Like I'm in retrospect, like. If you told me like, all right, this is what it's gonna feel like, do you still want it? I'd be like, no. You know what I mean? But like, bro, I don't regret it. I like the tattoo. It's a cool experience.
You want to show the camera, or is it too like far down?
No, I can show. But like,
oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit is fire, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. It's right there on that bone, right on the back of your neck.
Yeah, this part was the rough.
Damn.
It was horrible. But like, now that I got it, I'm like, oh, it's cool. I'm glad I got it. But like, if you were like, all right, let me do one poke. I'll show you what it's gonna feel like, and if you want it, we'll get it. If they did, I'm like, get the fuck off of me. It was.
Well, aren't you glad you ultimately got it though? Because now you got some piece of Thailand on.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool for like like symbolically, you know what I mean? That's why I got it. Like, I don't like it enough. Like, I would never go to my tattoo artist around here and be like, I want this, like, pyramid-looking thing on my neck. I got it because of the experience, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't worth the pain at the end of the day. It was like, the most brutal thing probably ever felt. But, whatever. It's cool. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, so do you watch any other, like, fighters from around town?
Yeah, we have a couple of guys at our gym, honestly. We have this kid named, we call him Boomer. He fights at 170, but he's a monster. Like, he's honestly, like, he should be a pro in my opinion. I think he's gonna be going pro soon, but he's like such a high level. He's probably, like, in my opinion, the highest level striker, amateur, like, in the whole area. Okay. You know what I mean? But, like, he's got, like, crazy knockouts. Like, he's just head kicking dudes unconscious. But he fights at 170. He walks around like 200. He's built like Tyrone Woodley. He's like this big, thick, stocky black kid, and he's just got like thunder, like huge thighs. You know what I mean? He just knocks dudes out. He's super powerful. He's like impossible to take down. He's like craziest hips, so he just stands up and just drops everyone. No one can get him down. They put him against all these good wrestlers. Mm-hmm. One guy finally took him down. Got on his back. Like he like hung in there, survived like a few minutes, got up. There was like a second left in the round. It was really on the buzzer, hit him in the head, knocked him out. Out cold with the head kick. Wow. Like he's like super exciting for like an amateur.
Shout out Boomer.
Yeah, shout out to Boomer. Like he's just like you. It's rare to see like that level of excitement in amateurs. You know what I mean? Like you expect it from pros. Like when you go to like a pro show, you're like, why is there no knockouts? Everyone gets like bored. You know, they have the expectations. But in amateurs, it's like.
I found amateurs a lot more exciting sometimes.
Yeah, it depends on. But that's the problem. Like sometimes the amateur matchmakers are fucking dickheads. Like. They're like, oh, we want to get like some exciting. It's like, put this guy with that guy, he'll murder him. You know what I mean? It's like, don't do that. Definitely. That guy's 1-1, and that guy's like 7-0. Don't match them up. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna get murked.
Especially if they want to market a fighter too, they're gonna put you up against someone that like you could get.
They do it even in the pros. You know what I mean? I watch like these new guys come into the UFC, and they'll take a fight against like a guy they're trying to build up. You see that guy like Johnny Walker? Yeah, like they're trying to build him up, so they're giving him. Spoon feeding him guys he was just murking at first. Yeah. And they gave him Corey Anderson. I was shocked at how that
me and my brother were just talking about that. I was like, he might get knocked out. But
I had Corey Anderson winning that fight, but I thought it was going to be a boring, like, take him down, pin him. I did not think Corey Anderson was going to piece him up with hands. Mm. That was hard to watch. He beat him up badly. He beat the shit out of him.
His whole face was changed after that. I was like, he might not come back after that one because he looked beaten. Like, he was like, damn, like, I can be beat like that.
Yeah. You know what it is? Like, he said before the fight, he's like, I want to go out there and prove I can go the distance. I'm going to be a lot more calm. And, like, I want to be like, dude, that's not your style. Like, you've branded yourself off being this explosive dude. Be that explosive dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe if he went out there being himself, like, ripping crazy kicks and elbows, he might have caught Corey with something. But instead, he tried to play, like, the cerebral, calm game, and Corey just pieced him up. I was like, man, don't change your game plan if it's got you to the UFC already.
Right. Where I was going with the local fighters was because we got you. I don't really know a lot of other fighters besides you and Demetrius Plaza. You familiar?
No, I know Demetrius Plaza. He's over at Black Hole. That's like one of our rival gyms. But I watched him. No, it's not like it's not like bad blood. It's just like rivals. Like it's like Arlington and Ketchum. Like you're just rivals because you're near each other. So like we're competitive because we're both trying to do MMA, both pulling people from the same area.
And you guys are both doing it big.
Yeah, there's not like any like bad blood. He's actually a higher level than me. He's pro. I'm still an amateur.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like but this is the way it works for MMA. Like, no one has to be like, all right, we want you. You don't get drafted. I can go pro right now. I could literally be like, I'm pro. Yeah. I could just decide right now while I'm sitting at this table. But like, you don't want to do that unless you're ready, because you get one shot at pro, right? So I'm 5-0. When I go pro, my record is 0-0. I reset. Right, everyone does. So, right, you could be 0-5. I could be 5-0. We both go pro and we fight each other. You beat me. You're 1-0. I'm 0-1. Doesn't mean shit what my amateur record was. Right. So you get one shot at that. And if you want to make it to the UFC, you got to have a good record. Right. As a pro, so you got to make sure you're ready, because it's not like say like we're playing football, right? And you and I both get drafted to the Giants, right? And you were good enough and I wasn't. Mm-hmm. It's whatever. Like, the rest of the team will pick up the slack for me. They'll cut me eventually, but it's not like that for MMA. I go out there, it's just me out there. Yeah. So if I'm not ready, I'm just gonna get brutally knocked out, subbed, something like that, and then that's it. My career's gonna be over. So you have to make sure you're ready. You know what I mean? Like, I think Dimitri just fought for Bellator again this past weekend. Yeah. Right. And he ended up losing the fight. So now he's 1-1 as a pro. You know what I mean? And I give him credit because I know he took the fight on short notice. I'm friends with some of his buddies, so like they gave me the inside scoop. Like, yeah, he wasn't really training. They offered him the fight, he took it. Like for me, I would never do it. I would just be like, no. Like you have to respect like the process, like your career. Like if someone, like if UFC came after me right now, like we're offering you a contract, I would say no. Yeah. I'd be like, listen, I do want to fight for your organization, but not now. Because if I come in now, I'm gonna lose probably 50% of my fights. I'll be in there for a year and a half, 2 years, and then I'll end up being kicked out. But if I wait and I keep developing and I get in at the right time, like my goal isn't to just fight a fight in the UFC. Like I want to be in the UFC, be an active fighter. You know, and be on the roster, climb the ranks, stuff like that.
Being a fighter, what is a tip you could have given him?
Well, I mean, like I said, he's a higher level than me, so I don't want to act like I'm all knowledgeable.
No, yeah.
He's doing it wrong. But like, I think he knows. He knows. Like, he took a chance. It could have paid off big. It could have been 2-0 as a pro. That's a really good start to a career. But like for me, if I wasn't like in the gym grinding, getting ready for a fight, and you know, especially at a high level, maybe in amateurs, it's one thing because it's like, all right, if I lose, whatever, it's all experience. You know, it's for my pro. But once you're a pro, like I said, that's on your record forever. Say he does make the UFC, he's always gonna have that one loss. Look at Conor McGregor. Like he came to the UFC, he had that one loss on his record, and it was his first fight. He fought some dude, and then since then he's just been a murderer. He took like a year off. But like imagine he just took that year to develop, you'd have that clean sheet. You know what I mean? But like that's never gonna go away. That loss. So, like if I wasn't actively getting ready for a fight and training, I wouldn't even take it. You know what I mean? I would just be like, nah, sorry, man. Like I appreciate the opportunity. Definitely reach out to me again next time. I just need a little bit more heads up.
Right. Yeah, but one thing people go for is like, you know, the undefeated title.
Yeah.
Do you think it's overrated or it's something you're heavily striving for?
I mean, definitely doesn't hurt, but like, if I'm undefeated, obviously I'm always gonna try to remain undefeated, right? Like right now I'm 5-0. I'm like that's cool.
No one wants to lose, but people don't realize that losing is also a part of the sport.
Of course, yeah. Like there's always gonna be a loser walking out of the cage, right? 100% of the time there's gonna be someone losing. So, you know, like the problem is like to say like you should try and remain undefeated. It's not always fair because like I said, like with Conor McGregor, he lost his first fight. You can't be like, well, now I already have the loss. I'm never gonna be undefeated. You can't just hang it up. You know what I mean? So like, look at he ended up being one of the most successful MMA fighters of all time. You know, so like you will learn from your losses, and you know what I mean. You have to. That's what like separates like the highest level guys. Like when they lose, they can like step back, evaluate what they need to work on, take some time off, like develop a game. You know. Right. Versus like guys who lose, like I want to get right back out there. It's like that's a good like mentality. But if you don't fix the thing that got you knocked out in the first place, you're gonna go back out there and get knocked out again. You know. So.
I also got a question. You ended up switching gyms too, right?
Yeah. I was at a gym called Precision, and I had a falling out with the coach. I was there for like that's the one I signed up when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was there for a long time, and then I ended up having like a big falling out with the coach. He kept pulling me out of fights. I had no fights yet, and like. He would get on me over like the smallest things. He'd make like a schedule for me, and it'd be like 7 days a week, 3 sessions a day. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I would start going, and I would be like, my body was like falling apart. Like your body, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like 18 years old, 19 years old, and I'm like training so hard to get ready for this fight. I was like, yo man, like I did the first 2 sessions. I'm gonna head out early. I texted him. I was like, I'm not gonna be at that wrestling class that this guy's teaching. He wasn't even in it. You know what I mean? It's like my body's hurting. I'll be here tomorrow, and then he would just send me a text like, "Man, I thought you had what it takes to be a fighter," and like he would pull me out of my fight, and I was like, "Dude, I did like 20 sessions this week." You know what I mean? Like I can't maintain that. Like no one can.
Yeah, no.
You know, like, and it just got to the point like it just built up so much, and like we just like butting heads so much at all times. I was like, I'm done. So I ended up leaving, and I went to this new gym I'm at now, Evolution in Beacon. And the coach is like the coolest dude ever. Like he's super easygoing. Right? Yeah, Mike Palladino. Super easygoing, super high level. I remember I walked in the gym. My old gym, I was like the top dog. You know what I mean? Like I was the best guy there. You know what I mean? Like I had guys who were, you know, like right there with me. But like if I really turned it up, I could beat just about anyone. Even the coach, I was going like, you know, like we would have like really good competitive roles. And I go to this new gym, and they stick me with these dudes, and I'm having like wars. And, like I grinded out. Like I edged out this one dude, and I was like, oh, I feel good. You know, like I beat him. And they're like, yeah, he's one of our blue belts, like super low rank. I'm like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You know what I mean? Like, then they start putting me with the high level guys, and like, I went with the coach, Mike, the first time. He was just rolling me up, like I wasn't even there. Like I'd never even done jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, there's so many levels to this.
Yeah.
You know.
I actually realized with him a few times because I went there once.
Dude, he's so good.
I went there once with Caesar.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for.
Yeah, he cuts my hair.
Yeah, and he He whooped my ass.
Yeah, dude, he is so good, and like he's just the coolest dude ever. Like when I sent him a schedule, I started like a new schedule. I was like, what do you think about this? It's like, you know, Monday jiu-jitsu, Tuesday I'm going to this gym in Kingston, Stockade. Like I listed it all out, and I gave myself Fridays off, and I was like, what do you think? He goes, I think you should give yourself one more day off during the week. Like he's like, you know what I mean? Like he's like the complete opposite. You know, where he's like, make sure you're resting your body. You know, you don't want to like overdo it. Yeah.
So do you think your old coach was just really pushing you way too hard?
Yeah, and I don't think it was like malicious, but like I just think he didn't know what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like I think he like expected me to be like world class, and I was like, honestly, I don't need to be a world class fighter to get in for my first MMA fight. I just need experience. I need ring time. You know what I mean? I need to get in there. So he's telling me I'm not ready for my fights. I ended up leaving the gym with no fights. 2 years later, 5-0. You know what I mean? Like I was ready for my fight.
Are you still in connection with them now or not?
No, I don't go near that gym. So I'll never go back there again. Not even to like cross train or anything.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. But I do cross train at other gyms. You know, like we go down to a couple of gyms in like White Plains, and we even drive out to like Jersey. There's like some gyms that are like hour and a half, 2 hours away. We drive all the way out to.
How did you find Evolution?
I literally just Googled. Like honestly, when I left Precision, I had two options. I was like, there's two gyms. There's Black Hole, and there's Evolution. And I was like looking it up, and I was like, Black Hole was kind of like the rival gym because it was in between Evolution and Precision, so it was kind of both of our rivals. I was like, I'm not gonna go jump ship just like the team that's like the complete opposite, just because it makes it look like I'm just doing it to be like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like a spiteful move. So I was like, let me go check out Evolution. And I went in there and I started getting rolled up by all these dudes. I was like, this is where I have to be. You don't want to be the best guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
definitely not.
You know what I mean? So I started going with these guys that are just fucking me up, or guys that are giving me like really hard rolls, and they're like way below me. I'm like, this is where I have to be. Like, this is where I'm gonna develop. And like, I've just like, I feel like 8 years at Precision, I've developed equally at Evolution in that 2 year gap. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I had like a 50% growth in 8 years, and then a 50% growth in 2 years. Like the amount that I've grown at that gym is like crazy. Because a lot of places
like Precision are just more of like a marketing place. They just want money.
It's like a plan. Honestly, I look at that gym as like, it's like the Planet Fitness of gyms, and it's not like a knock. Like Planet Fitness is successful. You know what I mean? Like he makes good money. If you're looking to learn cardio kickboxing, you're looking to get in shape, that's a good place to go. You know what I mean? And you're not going to learn like bad techniques. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not learning. It's not like you're learning from like some bullshit source. Like he knows jiu-jitsu. He knows like their striking coach knows how to throw a jab across. You know what I mean? It's not like you're learning bad stuff. But like if you're like an MMA fighter and you're looking to go like, you know, like I want to train with like other killers, stuff like that, that's not the place you want to go to. You know what I mean? And that's like I'm in the smaller percentage, so you know you don't want to cater your gym to guys like me because like you're not gonna make as much money because there's like a much smaller group of people that are like me than versus like people that want to get in shape and do kickboxing, because that's like everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, I want to do kickboxing, so that's the type of gym they need to go to. Same thing with Planet Fitness. Like a lot of people don't go to like an old school gym, you know what I mean, where you can work out shirtless. That caters to a smaller group, but there are people that want to go to that type of gym.
Right.
But Planet Fitness is gonna always sell more than them. You know what I mean? It caters to a larger group.
Yeah, I like the gruddy looking gyms. Like you ever watch Rocky where he's
that's what I'm saying.
He's dressed.
There's a gym in Poughkeepsie I heard is pretty cool called Determined. That's supposed to be like a pretty cool gym. My nephew was living with us at the time, and he's like 2 years old, 3 years old. So my mom wanted to get him like this playhouse. It was like one of those like little Ike like playhouses. So I was like, I don't know anyone with a pickup truck, and I was like, oh shit, Noah has a pickup truck. I'm like, yo, can you come help me pick up this little playhouse? Like it's right down the street on Spack and Kill. I'll throw you like $30. Like just come help me and bring it to my house. He's like, all right, yeah, I got you. So he comes and we go to this guy's house. We pick it up. We put it on the back of his truck, and we're like, I won't go nowhere, right? He's like, yeah, that'll be fine. Right, so we put it in the back, like the bed of the pickup. It's just standing up, like a normal like little house. It's probably like the height, like you know, like 4 feet off the ground, so they could play in it. Yeah, right. So out of nowhere, fucking monsoon comes, dude. It's like it's pouring on us. We're going down Route 9, right? So we're driving by like Barnes and Noble, going on north, heading up towards the Galleria.
Right.
Right, and we're driving. And Noah just looks at him and he's like tearing up. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's up, dude? And just like, I could tell he's trying not to laugh. I'm like, bro, what's so funny? He's like, dude, look behind you. And the playben's just gone. Like, it's gone, and Route 9 is dead empty behind us. We're like, yo, why is it so empty? And we loop back around. All 3 lanes are stuck Because there's just a play bin across the middle of Route 9, dude. None of them can move. It's just jam-packed like 2 miles. And there's just a fucking playhouse in the middle of Route 9. And Noah couldn't breathe. I'm like, dude, you gotta drive the truck. He's pulled over. I'm like, all of Route 9 North is completely shut down until we get this playhouse off. And it's pouring rain so hard.
Oh my God.
But dude, he couldn't drive the car because he was laughing so hard. I was like, dude, but just I can't stop when he said like, dude, you need to look behind us, and I just saw there was no play bin. We just started dying laughing. We didn't even know what we had caused yet. You know what I mean? We were just laughing at the fact that it wasn't in the back. You know what I mean? But I guess like the wind probably got under the roof and it probably sailed so high that we didn't even hear it hit the ground. It might have like 20 feet there. Right up out of and it was just sitting perfectly in the dead center lane, just enough that no cars get around in any lane. It was so funny, dude.
Bro, it just flew out the back of the truck.
Dude, it was one of the funniest moments of my whole life. I can't even talk about it without dying laughing again, dude. Being there, I was genuinely like crying hard.
Did you guys get out and move it? Or?
Yeah, we had to get out, like yank it up, throw it in the truck, and we laid it on like the side, like hopefully the air won't get underneath it, and like drove super slow the rest of the way. But there was it wasn't damaged or anything. Like we still have it, but dude, that was one of the funniest moments.
I would never get rid of that playhouse.
Oh no, dude, that was hilarious. I honestly forgot about that.
When it fell.
Yeah, it stayed all intact. That's what I was like. I don't understand. It was sitting. That's what the funniest part. It was almost like if I threw a water bottle across the room and it just landed like perfectly. That's what must have happened. I think it must have gone up and just popped and landed like dead center.
Like, wait, why
dude, the entire Route 9 was just backed up in a monsoon. They're all just sitting there holding the horn. The guys, like, everyone in the front's like, I don't know where you want me to do. There's a playhouse. It was blocking off the entire street. Dude, it's so funny. It's such a busy spot too. Route 9 by Barnes and Noble.
That's hilarious, right there.
Oh, such a great moment in my life.
Traffic
dude,
after
so
traffic.
funny.
But
we couldn't get to the playhouse obviously because it was all backed up. So we had to go park. We had to block off the other side of Route 9, like not only one lane. Hop out, jump over the guardrail, grab it. You know what I mean? Because we couldn't move back there.
Oh, we're not the guys who put it here. We're just
helping
out. We're just helping out.
Dude, it's so funny.
That's hilarious.